thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today, I'm going to dig into Mark Harlan's ass. And I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to keep going with Kyle Whittingham. Because both these dumbasses don't realize what's really going on in the football world. But before I, get into the rant too much, I do want to preface one thing. These comments are not directed at Utah fans. Now, most Utah fans are passionate, but they're cool. There's some of y'all that are a little prickish, but I don't mind y'all being the bad guy. As, one of my favorite Utah fans, the Wild Ute, as he likes to say, someone's got to be Darth Vader. In other words, someone's got to be the villain. They're willing to step up and be the villain. Hey, that's a necessary role. It adds drama and entertainment into the Big 12. The Utah fans are a welcome addition to the Big 12 in my opinion. As far as I'm concerned, they're welcome. Having said that, this is not directed at the Utah fans. This is directed at Mark Harlan and, yes, Kyle Whittingham. Good coach. Absolutely. Best coach Utah ever had. One of the best coaches in the Big 12 currently. He was one of the best coaches in the Pac-12. First, let me address the football side of things. The holding call. It could have easily been a non-call, or it could have been a call. It's, to me, what it looked like to me was a 50-50 kind of deal. I've seen those calls ignored by referees, and I've seen them called in the Big 12, in the SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, the NFL, local high school team. Any level. It's a subjective call. All right, it sucks. Hey, it went against you. It went against you. But when you look at it and you see the receivers start to trip up, you usually see a flag. And by the way, Utah fans, you can bitch about that call. That's fine. That's what fans do. We bitch about a call that cost us a game. Regardless of who your fandom is, or who your team is, on whatever level it is. Whenever there's a call, and there's going to be a call against your team that's going to completely suck and piss you off and cost your team the game. And you're going to want to throw rocks at your TV. Absolutely. However, when you're an athletic director, Mark Harlan, all right, the coach, the head coach, of course he's getting in the ref's ass at the time. That's what you do. You're the head coach. That's expected. Okay, he's into the game. He's passionate. He's a part of the game. The athletic director is not part of the game. Why are you talking after the game? Athletic directors, you don't see them grab the mic and start going off. Ever. Positive or negative. They stay in the rear with the gear. Oh, but not Mark Harlan. He's too special. Right? He's a star. Everyone knows who Mark Harlan is. Everyone needs to know what my opinion is. We jumped down Jerry Jones' ass for that here in Dallas. For always getting involved. People used to hate it when Mark Cuban did that shit. Right? Run down the refs every time the Mavericks lost. Or won a close game. He'd still run them down. A few $1 million worth of fines later, he kind of settled down. You ain't Mark Cuban. You're not entertaining. No one gives a shit about you. You're not on Shark Tank. You're not worth billions of dollars. You're just a dumbass who got lucky, who got a position. Maybe you earned it. Maybe you knew people. Don't know. I don't know the history of Mark Harlan, and I don't give a shit. But it's hilarious. Well, I'm going to go talk to Brett Yormark because we're going to straighten this out. $40,000 later, I guess it's straightened out. Dipshit. 40 grand for being an absolute dumbass. But it goes well beyond that. Oh, you think you're too good for the Big 12. See, that's what came out of Mark Harlan's face. He thinks he's too good for the Big 12. He thinks Utah, the University of Utah, the Utes are too good to be in a conference with the Big 12. Well, I'll tell you who disagrees with you. The Big 10. The Big 10. Couldn't they have used a team in the Mountain Time slot? Well, they didn't give a damn. They didn't take you. They wanted Oregon. They wanted Washington. They wanted UCLA. And of course, USC. They didn't want you. They didn't want your program. They didn't want your fucking head coach. They didn't give a damn what Kyle Whittingham had put together. They don't give a Randy shit. Oh, cute. You won back-to-back Pac-12 titles. They don't give a shit. The Big Ten don't give a shit. Why? Because you don't have the TV viewership of USC. You don't have the TV viewership of Oregon or Washington. Hell, UCLA is more consistent. And I'm not trying to run down Utah. I love them being in the Big 12. All right? However, what you need to understand, Mark Harlan, Kyle Whittingham, you're not fucking going anywhere. Because there's nowhere to go. The SEC isn't going west of Oklahoma. And even if they thought maybe, they're not taking you. You're not worthy of the SEC. Now, the Big Ten, they love being coast to coast. They love being coast to coast. Now, maybe you have the academics. Sure, you're AAU. Woo! But what you are not is a big enough deal in a big enough state for the Big Ten. You don't have it like that. What are you? You're a Big 12 team is what you are. Like it or not. And you better learn to love it. Because there's nowhere to go. You can go back to the Pac. Oh, they'll take you in a New York minute. Yeah. How about that? How about a little playing games with Colorado State, Fresno State? Do you feel you'll fit in with that shit? San Diego State, Boise State, they're right there. They're right there. Easy travel. I have a feeling you won't do that. Why? Because you like to make a little bit more money. Maybe you feel you're worth something. So yes, the Big 12 is the only place for Utah. And if you can't get that through your thick freaking head, quit, resign, go somewhere else. If you think you're being mistreated by the Big 12. And let's talk about this mistreatment. This football season. Wasn't it the first month you didn't have to leave the fucking state of Utah? I mean, you didn't have to come to Dallas for the Big 12 media days. Oh no, just right there to Vegas. I mean, the Big 12 has done everything for your punk ass. They have rolled out the red carpet for Utah. Even though it was Colorado who wanted to go. Even though it was Arizona who wanted to come here. We all know Utah didn't want any part of it. Right? You weren't going to even entertain it. Unless the big Pac-12 just disintegrated. And then it did. And then you had no choice. Because the Big Ten didn't want you. And the Big Ten are never going to want you. It's okay. They're not going to want TCU either. Both former Mountain West schools. Hey, you can go back to the Mountain West. They'd love you. Hey, welcome back home. This dumbass, this little twinkle-toed cocksucker, he doesn't understand what's going on in the college football landscape. I don't know why. You've been seeing it. You're a victim of it. You were forced to change conferences when you didn't want to. Why? Because you still want to get paid something. You want to be able to compete at some kind of level that's above a G5 because you think you're better than a G5. And you are. You're just not in the big two. You ain't got it like that. In no kind of way. Brand value, viewership, anything. You don't have the winning. You don't have jack shit. You're no more of a blue blood than Oklahoma State or Texas Tech or Baylor, Kansas State. You're not. Could you ever be? Probably not. Why? Because this is a league of parity. You're in a league with all the teams that have the same access to the money you have. NIL, revenue, media rights, corporate sponsorships. You're not on top of anybody else here. You're not a bigger brand than anybody else here. You're pretty much on the same level, which means there's going to be years like this year, where guess what? You're not at the top of the conference. You're not even close. As a matter of fact, you may not make a bowl game this year. I'm willing to bet you don't. There's going to be years like that in the Big 12. In the Pac-12, oh yeah, USC tried to do everything they could to win every year. Oregon tries to do everything they can to win every year. Same thing with Washington. You can make a small case for UCLA for that. But we all know in that former Pac, not everybody was really trying. For a good while, Arizona State really didn't try. I believe Arizona did, but they were just fucking around. They didn't know what they were doing. Colorado did not care. The people, I'm not saying the fans, I'm not saying the players or the coaches, but the people within that structure who held the power in the University of Colorado didn't give a damn at all. They cared about academics, the research dollars, they cared about that kind of stuff, the prestige. They loved going to San Francisco and being part of whatever little committees and all that kind of shit. But they didn't give a damn about the football team or the basketball team, men's or women's, or any other sport. They didn't give a shit. Now they do. And guess what? Now they're better than you. So, look. When it comes to Mark Harlan and Kyle Whittingham, who's had plenty of dog shit to say, and who's gotten his ass whipped more than he thought he was going to the first year, both of them need to shut the hell up or exit stage left. Get the hell out of here. Kyle Whittingham, there's plenty of G5 schools, FCS schools that would love to hire you. I am sure of that. Or you can just flat out fucking retire, having never won a championship, having never won a Rose Bowl. I know you won 2 Pac-12 titles in a row, and then summarily got your ass trounced in the Rose Bowl. Always ending that season with a loss. Great job, Kyle Whittingham. Mark Harlan. Feel free to fuck yourself at any point in time. Okay? Because, like I said, Utah's not going anywhere. They're here to stay. They're permanent members. There's nowhere to go. There's no other move up for you. This is it. This is the highest point that Utah will be able to achieve ever. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. You've reached the pinnacle for you. Hey, I know TCU. They're at the pinnacle. They're not going any higher. There's no Big Ten or SEC. Tech, Oklahoma State, Kansas, any of those teams. There's nowhere else to go. This is it. This is Shangri-La for them. And it is for you. This is all you got. So make the best of it, bitch. Or tear your ass. Anyway, that's all I got on this dumb bastard. And I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.